The microphone off.
It's on.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I am definitely here now. I was trying to set up our work table. I'm almost done here. Okay. So put it on me. Is it centered the way I usually do it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is the visual clear on that end?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, good evening, Yate. And we are at the last stage of our loom building here. And we've come a long ways. So basically, this is what you're aiming for at the end. This is what you want. So this is a finished loom. And it is ready to go. And we did a little bit of weaving at the bottom, as you can see right here. Added some colors. And so this is a finished loom. And that's what it's gonna look like. Sometimes you have to look at the end product to kind of visualize the steps and the goals you want to set towards getting there. So that's kind of like what I do sometimes. So that's a finish. Today, we can film right here. So you might want to set up right here where it's right there. There's a stool right there. So you're done here. This is what you should have now. Your knots right here and on this side. And both sides are sewn. And then you have your metal loops on. Everything is ready to go. So what you want now is you want to go ahead and take this apart. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn this around like this, and then you're gonna take the nuts off the bolt like that. So yours is actual nuts. On mine, I use wing nuts. You can always get these. They're at Home Depot. You can get them for like $1.99 a bag. Okay. Now you're gonna push these ones down like this. Just enough to where they're almost out. You don't want to actually push them through yet. Then you're gonna turn your loom around again. Like that. Then you're gonna slowly take one side off. And then the other side. And you're gonna release your warp from your working board. So that's what you're gonna have. So these are off now. You can take these off. You can take this one off and this one off. Like that. Then you can take the tape off of these. And off of this side too. So sometimes you're gonna need a little bit of a scissor. So you can go in here, like that. You want to take all the tape off like that. You want to take the tape off of this one, make it nice and clean again. So there's a lot of tape usage on this. So you want to be able to take all the tape off on this side as well. And then you're going to release this side like that. Put the tape to the side. And this side as well again. And then you're going to slide this one out. This is your working rod. There you go. If you notice here, this is what happens. I was telling you about that. Uh-oh. So this happens sometimes. So this one did not get put on. Sometimes this will happen. If you get too much in a rush, or so you see this one is, and that's okay. So we're gonna fix this. So you see that? So this one is supposed to go right in there. Right in here. So I'm gonna take my nails and I'm gonna move this one back over. And your string is supposed to go right in there between these two. So you wanna move these over. Just like that. Now you're gonna take these ones off, but before I do that, I'm gonna fix this one really quick. And I do not have the stuff for it here. So everybody, you can do that to yours while I go grab a needle and some string. I'll be right back in like 30 seconds. Okay, we're back. I needed to grab a needle and a little bit of thread, working thread. So I'm gonna take some thread off. I'm gonna cut it over here on this side, like that. Then I'm gonna lick the end, and I'm gonna put some in here, right in there like that. Sometimes the thread doesn't want to go in there. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to take this thread and I'm going to go back over here. And I'm going to take this one right here. And I'm going to go like that. And then I'm going to reattach it to this part. This goes right in there. So what I want to do is I'm going to lay this one to the side. I'm going to take my thread. And then I'm going to put this right underneath the yarn between these two here, like that. And then I'm going to bring it through like that. Then I'm going to take this side and I'm going to make sure that my yarn, one is going on top and then one is going on the bottom over here. I'm going to make sure they're crisscrossed correctly. And then I'm going to put the needle through from the left side. And then I'm going to run it through like this. And then I'm going to tie it on like that. I'm going to run the needle through like that. And then I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to tie a regular shoelace knot. And then I'm going to do another one right on top of it. Just like that. Then I'm going to take my scissor and I'm going to cut this. Not too close for now, just enough. Voila, I fixed it. Now you can keep on going. So now we're going to take the other side off. So I'm going to move my thread and my over here. I'm going to come on this side and I'm going to take these ones out now. Just like that. They're both out now. I'm going to take the metal hardware off. Just like that. Make sure it doesn't grab. You don't want to really push anything out of proportion here. Your main objective is just to take these two warping rods out. So this side has tape. So we want to get rid of that tape. I'm going to go in here with my scissor. Like that. And then I'm going to take this one off. This one off. And then this one off. If you leave this tape on here and you try to slide it out, it's going to grab your strings. You don't want to jerk your strings, like pull them this way or that way. Otherwise, it can throw them off. So now I'm going to gently slide this one out. Just like that. Voila, these are out now. Your metal hardware is all out. You can put them to the side. Now, of course the tape wants to get on me. Now you're going to be able to take this off, just like that. Now you have your warp. That is your warp. Ready to go. Okay, now I'm going to let those two slide down. I'm going to turn my loom around. Now I can put this one back on the same position, just like that. These ones I can bring up just a little bit. Now it's ready. All I'm going to do now is attach this to this, and we're going to pull the whole thing. And we're going to tighten it. Okay, is there any questions up to this point? Anybody? Anybody?
No, no questions from me.
Is everybody up to this point right here?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I have mine. I'm at that point.
Okay, now I'm gonna take my scissor. And then, oh, we cut these. You want to make sure these are cut at about 1/4 of an inch, just like that. Otherwise, you go back and you have to cut these ones. This one right here, not your yarn, but your string. So you want to make sure all sides. So this, it looks like we already did these earlier, except for this one right here. I can cut it a little bit more. And then I can cut this one a little bit more on this side too. All right. Now we're ready. Now I'm gonna take some of my tape like this. And then I'm going to tear some off. I don't know why I always have to have a hard time, but I lost that tape. And there you go. Okay, now I'm gonna take some off like that much, about 1.5 inches. And then I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna pull this one, this yarn, towards the left. Just like that. I'm gonna put my tape right here. I'm gonna make it nice and tight, and then I'm gonna put my tape around it like that. And I'm gonna tape it like that. This is gonna keep these tight, just in case one of them is loose. It just keeps it in place. You want this out of your way too. Then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, and then on this side. You don't have to do this, but it just kind of keeps everything organized. All right. Now I can trim this, make it nice and even on both sides. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with this side. So I'm gonna take my tape, go over here. I'm gonna pull this way again, put my tape right about here. And then I'm gonna pull it, make sure it's nice and tight, then I'm gonna tape it again. A long time ago, they used wire. They would put a wire and then tighten it with a plier like this. They would tighten it. That kept this one tight all the way across. So with this small of a rug, all you really need is just tape. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna pull it, make sure it's tight, and then I'm gonna tape it. Just like that. It's ready now. Now, I'm gonna clear my area here. I'm gonna scoot back just a little. Now I'm gonna take my zip ties. Your zip ties, and you're gonna bring this one down right up to here. There's tape everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna pull this, kind of make it nice and tight. Let it kind of get a feel for itself. Now I'm gonna make sure that this side and this side are even, just like that. Then my mark right here, the middle mark that I did, I'm gonna put my zip tie with the flat side towards me. Not this way, but towards me, the flat side towards me. And I'm gonna put it right underneath the yarn, not above the yarn, right underneath it like that. And then I'm gonna bring it around like this. And then I'm gonna zip tie it. Just like that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that this is even on this side. And then I'm gonna zip tie it right in the middle. And then I'm gonna make the head of my zip tie stay on the back side. You don't want that the head of the zip tie down here in the front. It needs to be in the back, and just zip tie it really nice and tight. Then you're going to do the same thing again with this side. You want to make sure that these are nice. Now I'm going to take the next zip tie, and then I'm going to come back about maybe 5 strings this way. And I'm going to zip tie this one right there. And make sure that it's underneath the yarn again. Just like that. Then I'm going to zip tie it again. Remember, the flat side is going towards you. You can tighten it and make sure that when you tighten it, the head of the zip tie is in the back. Not on the bottom, not in the front, but right in the back. Now this side again, I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to bring it right around here. And I'm going to put the zip tie right there, like that. And then I'm going to zip tie it again. Make sure that the flat side is toward you. Okay, now I'm going to take my plier and I'm going to cut these in the back, like so. So now you have it secured down here. Is there any questions at this point?
Lyle, just real quickly, you said that it has to go underneath that gray or black yarn, right? That we sewed down onto the board or to the stick. Okay, and then make sure that this head thingy is in the back.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. Just want to double check.
Okay. Now I'm going to set it up for the next phase. So give me about 1 minute. I'm going to get the other material. I need some clamps, and then I'm going to show you how to do this. So I will be back in about 1 minute or a minute and a half. I'm gonna set this up to where we're gonna do the other side.
Lyle, I got a quick question before you go.
Right. Go ahead.
This is Kimberly. When I took my I guess the medium dowels out, or the larger ones, I noticed that there was one string that wasn't connected. So, and it's actually in the middle. It's not on the end or anything. So would I need to restring it all? Like the bottom part?
Is it not connected to the yarn?
It's not connected to the yarn.
Oh, I remember I just showed you how to do it a while ago right here.
Yeah, I was trying to take my tape off.
Oh.
You were showing earlier. But I can review, I can watch the rest of it and review the video at a later time. So yeah.
She's gonna put the she's gonna bring that right over here. The camera, and I'm gonna show you again really quick, but I'm not gonna take it apart. I'm just gonna
the
top here.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, you're gonna come over here with your camera. So let's say this one is loose. You're gonna run some thread through here, make it long. Then you're gonna take your needle and you're gonna put it right under the yarn like this. And then you're gonna bring it around. You're gonna loop it back through this one from the left side. And then you're just gonna come around like that, bring it together and tie a knot right against the yarn. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But make sure they twist it or.
Make sure you untwist it right here. Make sure you check it on this side right here. That's why it's important to have these two in here sometimes. That way you can check. You don't want it double twisted. You just want it going over, then coming around, and you want it to come down straight. You don't want to twist it another time. Make sure it's not twisted an extra time. All it needs to do is go over this one like that. And then this is going to stay on top like that. Look, I'm going to grab this one here. You just want it to stay on top like that. And then this is going to go around it like that. So you don't want to double twist it.
Okay, I'll make sure. Thank you.
All right. Okay. We will be back in a minute or a minute and a half.
Did anybody else have a hard time taking off your nuts and bolts things? That's what held me up trying to get these things off.
I did. I had to hurry up and grab my what is this little wrench thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine. I was,
had-
especially because that was it, the dowel, that other one with the markings. It's right
Yeah.
up. It's right up against
Right.
the skinnier one, and so I was trying to twist it real. But yeah, mine's got stuck too. And by the time like I got it undone, but luckily he had to make that little repair to his warp. Otherwise, I think I would have got held up.
I did. I had my husband over here. I was like, get over here and help me. He's going fast. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one.
No, I totally forgot. I had to run out into our little storage area to get our little tool set. And I just burst out of my room, and then I was like, I need to get something.
Yeah, I got all happy. I got to that point. Then I noticed one of my strings, like right in the middle, is off. It wasn't under the yarn, so thankfully it's a quick fix. But yeah, I was trying to hurry up, trying to take these bolts out. It wasn't that hard getting it in.
I think it was really just because we had to we had to sew it together, and it was really tied up against each other. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I missed it somehow, but he said it's easy to get on here now, so I have to figure out how to fix it.
I know the warping part was really tough. I had to redo mine like 3 times because it was like some parts were really loose and then other parts are really tight. And then you know how he said like make sure it does the top part doesn't arch down.
Right.
I probably spent like a good 30 to 40 minutes on the warp part, and I'm glad I didn't miss one.
I know.
I would have been
Thank
so
goodness.
upset all that time.
All scared. I'm sort of behind already. But
yeah, it was pretty cool. Like that. Yeah, it's just an easy fix.
Yeah, that makes me feel better. I thought, oh man, I'm gonna have to restring the whole bottom all over again, but it worked out. I'm glad it's easy.
Yeah, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like he's back.
Okay, is everybody back?
We are.
Okay. Everybody got a sip of lemonade and ready to go again? All right. So in this process right here, you're gonna need a little razor like that. And then you're gonna need your last stick. Now that last stick is gonna go in here, right here, like that. So what you wanna do is you wanna transfer this line. You see you have a line right there in the middle. You wanna transfer that one to this new stick. Just a little dot like that. And then people ask why, and you'll see why in a little bit. Okay, so what I usually do right here is if I don't have anybody to help me, I use clamps. But if I have a partner, somebody to help me, then I get some string like this. And then I take some, and I take about a good armful and a half like that. Like this. And then I cut it right about here. If you have somebody that can help you, it's easy. So it's good team builder right here. So I'll put my string right here. I'll take this one here. And I'll make sure that the sides right here are even. So I want this flush over here. So I'll put this one right here. I'll take this one, I'll make it flush as well, like that. Then I'll take my loops and I'll put this one right in the middle. And then this one, I'll scoot it over. You want to make these nice and straight. Like that, and like that. So now it's even, look. Now I'm gonna take my string and then I'm gonna bring this around, throw it under here like that. And then I'm gonna bring this one around too, one more time to about right there. And then I'm gonna bring this string around like this. And then I'm gonna tie this like that, up here on top. And then I'm gonna pull it with everything I've got. So what you can do is, what I do is I put my feet on the opposite side. So I'm gonna turn this around. You're probably gonna have to stand and go on this side. It's on the opposite side of me. I'll get my string. And then I'm gonna make sure that this is right in the middle, like that. Like that, and this one right here. Then what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna pull this one towards me with everything I've got. Then I'm gonna tie it right here. So it should be a little bit tight. That's if you don't have tools and all you have is a bunch of string. That's what you can do. That kind of sets it up, and then after that you can slide these around. The point is to put these two even. These two should be even right here. I guess it doesn't matter. Some people don't do that. I see some looms like on Facebook or online, like online flea market, and they're all different sizes. Some of these are like really big and they're like sticking out this long. For me, I'm a carpenter, so I like things conform and neat. So that's where I'm coming from. But I guess you don't have to. So then you're gonna pull this one, and then you're gonna tie a double knot over here, like that. Now you're ready for your lightning rope. That's one way to do it. That's if you don't have anybody. So somebody can stand on the opposite end and using their thumbs, push this one forward. That way you can tighten this one, or they can move it forward like this, but this is good enough right there. Another way you can do it, and I'll show you right now, is I'm gonna move this one right over, move this one over, move this one over, I'm gonna move this one right over here, make it nice and even. Okay. Now, you can go down to Harbor Freight, Home Depot, and get yourself one of these. It's called a bar clamp. These are very helpful. You can use these as well. All you need for this size loom is 2 of them. Then you can put this right here, right about there. And then you're gonna slide this forward and then clamp it just a little, just to get a hold of it on this side too. Just like that. And then all you're gonna do at this point is you're gonna pump it until it's even right here. Make sure it's even right here. Right here is even, and right here is even. Right about there. Then you want to come over here and test your strings. Do you hear that? That's pretty reasonably tight. I'm gonna add about one more really good pump on both sides. Okay. Nice and tight. Does everybody hear that? Bring the camera down closer. I'm gonna do that again. That's what you want to hear. Okay. So there's two different ways, the clamp way and the string way. So this is probably like, you know, it's 1960s, but today we're all near a Home Depot or Harbor Freight. Sometimes this is the best way too, the first time. That way you kind of get an idea of how a lot of our grandmas and aunts did it without clamps. So they had to do that. So now I'm gonna cut this off. I'm gonna throw this to the side. Okay, go back there. That side. Okay, now I'm gonna. Okay, now I'm gonna stand this one up like that. Okay, I thought I had some really good lighting here. Is the lighting okay on that side, Kimberly?
Yeah, it looks good from my end.
Okay, all right. So now that it's nice and tight, you're gonna take your lightning rope now. Everybody should have one of these. And you're gonna turn your loom around. Like maybe about right there. On the left side, you're gonna take your rope and come on here. Right there, okay.
The light be
No light?
it's too bright. They can't see.
Oh. Okay, let me go ahead, come behind me. Right over here. What about there?
Okay, better.
Okay, now I'm gonna, this is the back of your loom. I'm gonna come in here like that, go in here, bring it around, and I'm gonna do this. 1, 2. Just like that. And then I'm gonna do it one more time, but just once this time. And then I'm gonna hold this knot and I'm gonna pull this one upwards like this. Like that. Now I'm gonna turn this loom back towards me again, this way. Okay, make sure it's tight. There was probably like, that's not how we did it in that college. Now you're gonna bring this around under it, and then you're gonna go like that. You're gonna go 1, and then you're gonna go 3 times like that. 4 times, whichever your preference is, as long as you have enough rope. Then you're gonna bring this one under here. Each compartment, this one, this one, this one, and that one gets a rope. Like that. So 1. See these points? That point and that point. When this rope goes on top, you want this rope to go around it right on top of these points. So I'm gonna bring this one through here like that. It's gonna go in the middle in this section right here. Then it's gonna go on top right here. You want this to be right on top of that point. You're gonna go in the middle on this side. Now you're gonna have to go behind this bar and then back around it on top like that. And then you're gonna come back. So that's how the configuration should look. These points right here, right on top, that's where you should have a V on top. And then on this side too. Then at the bottom, you want this about half an inch, and then right here in the middle and then in the middle. Any questions? Okay. Now I'm gonna come back over here.
Lyle,
ahead.
sorry, real quick. I was trying to unmute myself. So real quickly, just to kind of like a quick recap. It's two knots in the back. When you're first starting off, you make it tight, and then you do one knot, and then you wrap it around the top part 3 times.
Three
times.
4. It's really up to you.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
that's when you start the lightning pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I got a little behind. I was trying to tie my knots.
Okay, now I'm gonna go down here like that. I'm gonna pull it down. I'm gonna let it loose. I'm gonna pull it down. I'm gonna let it loose. I'm gonna pull it down. I'm gonna let it loose. I'm gonna pull it down, and then I'm gonna let it loose. And then I'm gonna kind of pull on this side again. Nice. You don't want these too tight, because when you let these clamps go, it's gonna give you the right tightness. So now I'm gonna turn this one around like that. And then right about there. And then I'm gonna go around it. 1, 2. Now I'm gonna put this finger right in here. I'm gonna bring this one around it again one more time, but I'm gonna have I have my finger right there. Now I'm gonna pull this one. I'm gonna make them equal lengths. And then I'm gonna bring this one around, and then I'm just gonna tie a knot right back into itself like that. And then I'm gonna keep on pulling it down and tighten it till it's nice and tight. Then I'm gonna bring this one around now, the tail, and I'm gonna do one more. And then I'll pull it, just like that. And then whatever you have left over, just bring it right across. Just like that. That's how it should look from the back of the loom. She's gonna go ahead and kind of zoom in right here and go across to show you what it looks like from the back. Okay. All right, is there any questions up to that point? Now I'm gonna turn around. And then I'm gonna turn my loom around. And then I'm gonna let my clamps go. Nice and tight. Look at that. And then it's nice and even on both sides over here. Even right here. All the lightning is nicely patterned. Now you're ready to tie these up. Okay, so now I'm going to do that in front of you. Okay, here. Let me bring this one right over here. That's what I see. I like that. Okay. I'm just playing around with the lights here. Hold on. Trying to get it better lit here. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. I like that. Okay, now I'm gonna sit right at my loom like this. And as if you can see, you have a knot right here in the front. And then this knot over here is in the back. Back here, see that? It's in the back though. This one's in the front. Now you're gonna take this knot and you're gonna bring it right up the front, all the way to the top. And then you're just gonna go around the top like that. Then I'm gonna tie a knot like this. Just like that. You don't want to over tighten it, just enough to where it's snug. You want this knot to be at the bottom. If you put it up here, it's gonna come back down and it's gonna loosen it up. Now you're gonna go back through again one more time. Voila. Now you can take your scissor, cut it about right there. You want some slack in there. You don't want to totally cut everything out because as you're weaving up, this is going to get loose. So every time you're going through here, you're going to want to retighten this. You're going to unloosen it, pull it up, retighten it. That's all you're going to do all the way until you get to this point right here where this knot is. Okay, bring it in closer a little bit. When you weave it up to this point here, where this knot is, and you go over it by 1/2 inch, then you're gonna unloosen this one, and you're gonna take this one, you're gonna cut it right there. And then you're just gonna keep weaving. Okay, now on this side, you're not going to bring this up the front. You're gonna turn your loom around. Just like that. Now you're going to take your loom and you're going to tie that knot on the back side, just like this. Make sure that this is not around any of them. Kind of pull it like that. You're just gonna bring this up like that. Then you're gonna bring it through. You're gonna tie one knot. Just like that. And then you're gonna do it one more time. That's it. Then you're gonna cut it right here. Now you're gonna turn the loom back towards you. Now you're going to undo this tape and this tape. So my razor, let me grab my razor real quick. You're gonna take your razor and you're gonna undo this one on top here. You're gonna cut it right there on the side. Then you're just gonna unravel it like that. Same on this side. Right there. You're just gonna let it go. Now you're gonna do the bottom. Right here. Then you're just gonna unwrap it like that. Just like a Christmas gift. Same thing on this side. You're just gonna slit it right there. You're just gonna take it off like that. Make sure you take all the tape off on both sides. You do not want some tape on, especially on this bottom one, because you're gonna be sewing it. Okay. Now that you have all the tape off, you're pretty much done with your razor. You're gonna take this one here, you're gonna bring it up just a tad. And then this one, you're gonna slide it over this way. Right up to there. If you notice this one right here, there's 2 strings coming down from this knot. And then there's one going that way. You don't mind this one. So that one string that goes around up here is 1 string. See that? Now there's 2 from this knot. That's going to carry through all the way to the bottom. These 2 strings are 1. So you're going to bring these 2 around the back. See how they're on front right here? Now they're going to both be in the back down here. Let it go. Slide this one back. Now you have it. So when I move this one up, it's going to go right on behind this one, and it's going to go right in front of this one. I'm going to slide this one up, and that shows me that we are good. I'm reaching here. You just bring this one to the top like that, all the way to the top. Like that. And then this one, you're just going to use it to check. Looks good to me. That means that the male and the female strings are done right. But if we were to bring this one up and it were to get caught right under this knot or this knot, that means that we have it it's not done right. So now I can bring this one back down. Now we're ready to mark this one and mark that one. So really quick overview. This is a heddle rod, heddle rod, heddle rod, female heddle rod, male shed rod. Why is it called a shed rod? Because it stays between the 2 strings, the female and the male. It stays in there. That's the shed. So every time you separate these 2 strings, the air in there is called the shed. So now this one just stays right here. He doesn't do nothing. He just kind of hangs out there through the whole process. He just watches everything. All he does is just say, these are my strings. You're more than welcome to use them. That's all he does. Her, she goes up and down the whole loom, through the whole process, up and down, up and down. She can't say I'm tired. She can't say I'm sick today. I'm calling in today. She just has to keep going. One of the reasons my grandma used to say, one of the reasons why in Navajo, our Dine culture, we say our mother's clan first is because a mother is a very disciplined, very, I guess, motivated, strong, determined, and is willing to go against all odds to keep her home sustained, healthy, peaceful, and joyful. There's a lot of strength in a woman. So that's what she represents right here. That's why in our Dine society, we say our mother's clan and our grandmother's clan first, because they're strong, because the earth is made out of women. There's earth women, mountain women, water women, and then multitudes of growth and development women. In Navajo, we call that Ni Asan, Zif Asan, your patterns. Tok, water, Tok Asan, and then Na Danch and Akas E Asan. So a couple of years back when people were protesting at North Dakota and everybody was saying water is life. And which is good. But in Navajo, I told a lot of people, I said, you have to remember that it takes the earth, it takes the mountains, it takes the water, and then it takes everything growing, even children, even our society, our prayers, our, they all grow. All of that. So is life. So, like in our philosophy, there's sunlight, water, air, and pollen. So we call that a dentin, these four things, they're life. They make everything possible on this world. That's what this whole loom represents. It has all of that in there. It has air in here in the shed. It has the earth, and it has the sunlight. And then it has air, water, and then it has pollen, meaning that when the sky mates with the earth, it produces. So this one right here in Navajo, it's like the male eggs, female eggs. These mate. When they mate, they produce. So in Navajo, we would say, it's a really powerful statement. So right now, this time of the season is fall time. That's when all of this is happening. That's why we call it meaning that the sky, the cosmos, the lightning, the wind, they're mating with the earth right now. They're planting seeds, and these seeds are going to be in the mother's womb during the winter. And as come spring, they're going to blossom and come out of the earth. This replicates that cycle. So I wanted to share that before we go any further. I always like to add something that has relevancy to our culture, language, history. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to mark these. Okay, I'm going to open it up really quick. Is there any questions or comments at this point?
Lyle, I had a question. It's well, thank you for sharing the significance of the loom. But I was watching this one TikTok video and I saw a guy, a male weaver, and what he did, he said to clean the wool, to put it in the dirt. Him and his grandma had put it in the dirt. I was just curious, like, how does that clean the wool?
Well, the earth has grit, and as you run your wool through there, like like that, it kind of like takes away all the fuzz off of the wool. And then what it does is it gives the wool a little bit of what do you want to call it, like a little bit of shine, so that way it's not all fuzzy. So when you put it in here, it doesn't fuzz up. Otherwise, when you run your yarn through here, the wool's gonna get all fuzzy. So some people do that, and then some people just respin this. For me, I just get a drill on one side. I put the drill on there, and then on this side, I run it like about a whole football yard and tie it onto a branch of a tree. And then I just turn on my drill, and then it tightens this, it respins it. Some people will take out their bed, and to me, that's a long time. I don't have that kind of time. So I would use that. So that's what, and then another thing I'm kind of thinking that is maybe it's more of a blessing as well, And so that's about the best I can answer that question.
Okay, yeah, thank you. when you had mentioned the grit, I had asked my mother the same question, and she sort of came up with the same thing. Like, I think that's why that is. And she said something else about how like sometimes the wool, it comes out real greasy, and then the sand probably cleanses it somehow. But yeah, that's what I was just thinking about as you were talking about the how the bottom part of our loom represents Mother Earth, and I was thinking that maybe there was some kind of significance to that. So thank you.
So down here, there's colors in this loom. So my grandpa always used to say that down here, it represents the color black. And then up here, it represents the color of the white. And then over here is yellow. And then over here is blue. And I said, why? Then he said, this down here, he said, is more of like shahashke. And then this one is hayoshkash. And then this one is positive gravity and then negative gravity. The earth, the sky, and the gravity all bring everything into balance. And so that's how we're able to exist. So everything that exists in between that is right here again. There's energy, there's lightning and wind, there's clouds and fog, there's rain, male rain, female rain, and then there's growth in return. So that's kind of like what my grandmother told me. Everybody has their own philosophy. So you can't, you can't say so-and-so is right, or Lyle Harvey said, or, but you kind of gotta just go by what your community or clan, association tells you. So that's what I have to offer. Okay. Now we're gonna take a Sharpie. You're gonna come to this stick right here. And then you're gonna mark it M. And then you're gonna mark it F right here. Come up here and let me mark it like this. Okay, M, and then F, like that. Now on the M, you want to make a straight line right here. See if I can do a straight line. And then you want to put a little tip, an arrow tip at the end. This says that whenever you're using his strings, you're going from left to right. Whenever you're using her strings, you're going from right to left. Just like that. That's going to remind you. Some people don't need it. Some people need a reminder. Okay. Now you can take this one and bring it all the way to the top. He's just going to sit there. That's all he does. One time, this is just a joke. One time my grandma used to say, sometimes a man, even if he's around, even if he's just there in the home, it makes everything balanced and sturdy. And, sometimes, she goes, then she looked at her husband, and she goes, sometimes in Navajo. And us grandchildren, we all started laughing, and we're like, whoa, she roasted him, But, and then she said, a woman is strong, she said. She goes all over her home. No matter how tired she is, no matter how sick, she's always cleaning, picking up socks after people, washing dishes, cooking. And so she said, that's a woman. So And I'm not passing on any, discrimination or judgment. This is humor that goes with weaving. So if you ever went to a real sheep camp or stayed, with some weavers, they can get really rugged with their teasing. And that just comes with humor. My grandma used to say, humor is medicine. You can't be too serious all the time in life. She goes, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to corner yourself somewhere. So she used to call that uppy. No, you have to have a little bit of humor in your life. You have to be able to stretch out and, be able to, make mistakes here and there because that keeps you balanced. When you're just right all the time, she said, you can corner yourself and you can actually lose people around you, your children, maybe your wife, your husband. And it gets too like the rope is just too tight sometimes. And so she used to say that. So she goes, don't make your work too tight. Keep it tight, but a little loose to where it's flexible. So that's one thing that I wanted to share. And it's good to be flexible. Okay, so we're right at that point now. Is there any questions up to this point before we go on to the next part here? We're almost there. I'll be yeah. It's all good. Okay.
All good.
Now you're gonna take your batten. Then you're gonna put your batten in here. You're only gonna pick up the strings that she's carrying. Just like that. You're gonna bring it down right about there. Then you're gonna turn this one this way. Like that. You want the flat side to go against this one. There's a flat side and then there's a kind of an angle rounded side. The flat side goes against this one. That way it holds it and it won't move. Okay. Now you're gonna take this one out. You're gonna put it down and we're gonna go into part 3 of this loom assembly. So as we set up for that one, give us about 2 minutes again. We're going to grab some plants and we're going to set up to do the bend. So the female heddle rod. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. We shall see you. So digital. Can you give me a little sense for the one I usually use?
How's everybody enjoying the class? Are you catching on and understanding how to put it all together?
What was the question? Did you ask a question, Kimberly?
I did. I was just asking how everybody's enjoying the class and if you're understanding on how to put everything together, and are you keeping up? Or
I was keeping up, but then I got lost when we started to do the lightning string. So I had to stop right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then now I have to tie those extra strings. I
Mhm.
get, so that's where I kind of got lost. But I did label my male and female Heddle rods. Heddle rods.
Yeah. the header rods. Yeah,
So,
I messed up somehow on tying it, so I'm gonna have to go back and see how he tied it to correct my mistake, because it just didn't look right. And
which one? That one string you had loose in the middle?
yeah, it's
Oh, I
like
see.
right in the middle, and I don't want to have to go back through and redo everything, so I'm gonna have to go
Yeah.
back through that. I think he's back.
Oh, okay.
Okay, everybody get a good break.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Yes, we did.
These are very, very helpful. You can get these at either at Harbor Freight or Home Depot. And but you know, or you can look at a pawn shop. These are good when you're gonna start your weaving. They're not too big, and then they're not too bulky. What you're gonna do is you're gonna bring your loom right to the edge like this. And then you're gonna take one of these, you're gonna put it on like that. Bring it up, and then all you're gonna do is tighten it. Like that. One
What
on
is
this
that?
side.
What's that tool called?
This is a bar clamp.
A bar clamp?
A 4-inch bar clamp.
Okay.
And then you're gonna bring this one on this side, you can do the same thing. Okay, look at that. My loom ain't going anywhere. So even if I pull my band, it's not gonna tilt towards me, nothing. Okay, now this one. Now you're gonna take this one, and then you're gonna take about 1, 2 arm lengths like that, and then you're gonna put it back in the bowl. Just like this. And then this side, you're gonna take this one, you're gonna put this one, this side, you're gonna put it nicely under your roll, so it holds it. And this one, you're gonna bring it around, and then you're gonna tie a knot like this. You're gonna bring it down to about right there. 1 inch or 1.25 inches. Then I'm gonna tie another knot. And then one more. Until this third one, then you're gonna pull it and tighten it. Now you're gonna take this one and you're gonna cut it 1/4 inch. Like that. Just like that. Then you're gonna take this one, and you're gonna bring it in from this side, and you're gonna run it through. Then you're gonna take this one off. And then you're gonna put this one back in just like that. So you're gonna make sure that it's like this. You don't want to turn it this way. Now you're gonna put this one on. And you're gonna slide it all the way across. You want about 4 inches right here. Okay. Kind of scoot this way a little bit and put it right there. Okay, now you're gonna pull this one and you're gonna bring this one right up against it like that. Now you're gonna put your thumb on it right here. Just like that. And then you're gonna take your right finger and then you're gonna go right behind this one here and you're gonna pull it like this. And then you're just gonna turn one time and you're gonna lay it down like that. And then you're just gonna pull this one. Bring it in, pull it up. You want it about 1 inch right here. Now I'm gonna bring this one down to make it tighter. Just like that. So that's what you want to do this straight all the way across. You don't want it to go like that. So I'm gonna take the next string. And then I'm gonna grab the string and then I'm just gonna pull it, go one time. Voila. Next one. Turn it at one time, let it go. Bring it in, pull it back out. You want these equal. The next string, all the way. That's what you're gonna do all the way across. Right there like that. Just like that. Now you're just gonna do that all the way across. You want to hold your stick really straight and sturdy. Okay, look at that. That's what you want right there. You want it even all the way across. This right here is called sewing on your female heddle rod. Now you're gonna come over here like that. Bring it across. Same thing again. Whenever you bring this in, you want to tighten it, then bring it in a little bit, then pull it back out. That's gonna keep it nice and straight, going all the way across. And that's all you're gonna do all the way across. Just like that. Any questions? You do not want to skip one, nor do you want to tie two together. You want to keep them all separate.
How did they roll the rod?
You can do that all the way across.
So Lyle, with this one, if let's say for example, like you do accidentally miss one, this one you would you have to undo it and then redo it again?
You're gonna have to undo it and redo the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, so you're just keeping it nice and even. The way you move this stick through is you go like this, look. Twist it and just roll it. Go back, see. You don't want to just pull it, otherwise you're gonna mess up all your, and it's just gonna drag everything. Okay, so you wanna keep 4 inches ahead. That's all you want. You don't want to keep it too long. If you do it too long, let me do it in front of you. let's say you're doing it like that, then what you're doing is you have to go all the way over here, and then you're putting a lot of string into it. Otherwise, if you keep it short, then you're just going right around it and pulling it right here. It's faster and it's easier. So everybody develops their own style eventually. Some people do half a turn like this. They'll just put it like that. Some people do a full turn. Some people twist it twice. So it just kind of depends. One good question to ask your aunts, your grandmothers, or elders is what kind of style is in your community, or maybe you had a grandmother or an aunt or somebody. After a while, you're going to grab it right here. You want this to stay even. So then you're just going to keep on going. You want to hold this right here. Otherwise, they start flipping over and going on top of each other. You don't want that. You want to keep them all separate. Then you just kind of eventually move your way around. Every now and then go like this. Keep them even. And then that's all you're going to do. Remember, you're only grabbing these ones, the ones in the front. Looks pretty easy, huh?
It does, but when I was doing the warp, it looked pretty easy, but having to keep that tension on there and but also not so much tension where that top rod was arching.
Yeah.
So it looks easy, but it as I came to find out, like you really have to have your attention on it. Otherwise, I was sharing with Kimberly that I had to redo my warp, I think twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to really make sure I was paying attention.
Yeah, it's something you really can't do, like, on the side while watching The Price is Right or something. You kind of got to pay attention to it. Otherwise, you make one mistake and that costs you about and then sometimes this will happen where the string will kind of loop itself.
Yeah, that was one problem I had. I forget what was I doing with this thing. I think it was with a rod, but my warping string, it kept twirling. It
Yeah.
kept swirling and then it would knot itself when I was trying to pull it through. Yeah, so that kept happening too.
A lot of patience goes into it, right?
Yeah, as I came to find out, because there was one point I was pulling the warping string. I think it's when I was sewing the bottom piece. I was sewing the yarn. I think that's when it happened. It did not, and I kind of got a little frustrated, and it just made it worse. So I had to like take a breather and come back to it. So I was like, okay. But yeah, it does take a lot of patience, as I've come to find out.
I had the same problem too with mine when I was stringing around the yarn with the bottom heddle, and it kept getting all tangled up. And so, I understand what you mean when you say you have to have a lot of patience. It teaches you that patience, that discipline to keep, moving forward. And despite all these barriers or challenges you come to, it's kind of how I saw that. So I ended up still missing a string somehow, but I was watching Planet of the Apes, so I guess that's what my distraction was.
That's a good movie.
Yep, it is. It's the old versions that came on. So I was sitting here last night trying to string them through.
Okay, now we're at the end. You want to go back and check. See how even that is?
Yep, I see it.
You want it nice and even like that. Now you're gonna take this one and you're gonna cut it about right there. You're gonna unloosen this one. You're gonna make sure that this is nice and even right here, the last one. And then you're gonna bring this around it like that. You're gonna put your finger in here, your thumb in there. You're gonna grab this string. And then you're gonna bring that knot in like that. And then you're gonna bring this in, tighten this one some, and bring it back out. Right there. That's where you want it. Then you're gonna take this in, and then you're gonna bring it in here, and then you're gonna bring it from underneath. You're gonna bring it right in there. Like that. And then you're gonna bring this loop back around it like that. Put your finger and thumb in there again. Then you're just gonna pull it. It's that easy. There you go. You want this one to be a little loose. You see that? How it slides? That's what you want. Now you're gonna take your scissors and you're gonna cut this right there. Boom. All right. It looks beautiful. Now we're gonna check it. I'm gonna put my batten to the side and I'm gonna go over it. You see that? That means I got every string. Now I'm gonna bring this one up. I'm gonna check it. There's an X all the way. You can count all your X's.
All 41 of them, huh?
All 44 X's.
It's the only time your
Okay.
exes is good news.
So yes, there you go. This is the only time when you see all your X's, you're like, yes. Okay, now you can take this one out. You can bring this one up now. Yay, you did it. You are now ready to weave. Okay. So many things to share right here. So many ways to start. So many things that you can run into. But if you did it right and go back and repair them right, you're gonna have no problems. But if you made shortcuts and you kind of did some things here and there, you're gonna run back into them later. They're gonna be right in front of you, especially with weaving. If you didn't do something right, it's gonna be standing right there waiting for you to catch up. But if not, everything's gonna run smooth. So this is pretty much it right here. Now you're gonna take some yarn, preferably something dark. You're gonna do 1 inch down here, 1 inch up here. You're gonna start with a dark color. We're gonna use charcoal gray, dark charcoal gray. You're gonna want to get 2 arm lengths. 1, 2 to start out with. Then you're gonna go a little further. You're gonna wrap this around your finger, and then you're just gonna tear it. You don't use scissors from this point on. Everything you're gonna do now is tearing. But if you got your yarn from Walmart and you got polyester, you're never gonna be able to tear it. You're just gonna grind into your fingers. With wool yarn, you can tear it. You want this at the end. See that? You want it nicely like a cat's tail. You do not want this on your yarn. You don't want that. See how it's just. you want it like this. Like that. Cat's tail. Now, you're going to take the end like so. Like that. You're going to take your comb now and you're going to test out your strings. Nice. Okay. In the event that you find that your strings are starting to get kind of fuzzy, your work strings, the only thing you can do at that point is you're going to get a fabric shaver. It's like a kind of like a men's shaver, but it's for fabric. You can get that over at Joann's or Michael's, and then you just put it against it and it goes zzz, and you can just kind of trim the whole thing. It takes all the fuzziness off. But in this case, the string that I gave you will hardly do that. If you use regular wool warp string, then you're going to run into those problems. I use a cotton just to prevent certain things for my beginners. Okay, now you're going to take your yarn. You're going to take about 14 inches, 12 inches like that. Then you're going to take your batten. You're going to take your female and you're going to run it all the way to the top. Every time you are starting a new yarn, and it's not called yarn no more. As soon as you enter this yarn into the weft, into the warp, into the shed, it is now called a weft. Weft, W-E-F-T. This is your warp, weft. So now I'm going to take my batten. I'm going to use male to enter. Every time you're starting something new, you start in male strings. How do I get my male strings? I just take my female heddle rod, bring it all the way to the top. I just bring this one in here and just collect all the ones in the front. See that? She can't come back this way, watch. Look. Because I now got all the male strings. She's holding the ones in the back, so you just leave her right there. Now I can bring this one down, open it up. I can take my yarn now. I'm gonna take about 10 inches like that. I'm gonna take this finger and I'm gonna enter it just like that and put this around it and just loop my finger like this. Around it, loop my finger. Let me do that one more time. Put your finger in there, around it, loop, and then bring it through like that. You're going to do that one more time. Around it, loop. Now you're going to bring this one down all the way to the bottom. And then you're going to run this through all the way like that. Right about there. Now I'm going to take my comb and then I'm going to put it right in here and I'm going to bring it down over here as well. I'm going to pack it. I have now put my weft into my warp. Now I can begin weaving. So I'm going to take this batten out. I'm going to bring her down. Take my batten. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to pull it. See that? And I'm going to pull it and then I'm just going to put my batten in there. See that? Now I'm going to let that go and I'm going to bring her back up. Bring this one right over here and I'm going to open it. Now I'm going to take this side the opposite end, just like that. And I'm gonna do the same thing I did at the beginning. I'm gonna run it through like that. One, you're gonna go all the way across this time now. Now I'm gonna pull it. You're gonna pull it until you slightly pull this one in on this side, like this. Look, see that? It barely moved. That's all you want. You want to leave 2 inches over here. I'm gonna bring the comb and I'm gonna put it right at the end. I'm gonna push it down and pull this one slightly out like that. Just so it doesn't start pulling this one in. Now I'm gonna bring my comb and I'm gonna go right in here and right in here. Now I have 3 mountains. You do not want to just pull this straight across like this and then just like that and then put it down. No, no, no. What happens then is as the air changes and all that, this begins to contract and this is what's going to happen to your rug. So you have to give it some space. Everybody needs space. So you're going to go like that. You're going to bring this one down, that one down. Ne asan, zish asan, to asan, na da chil aspas a asan. It's a growing entity. Now you're gonna loosen that one up, bring it up, and I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna go. That's half a cycle now. I'm going to take this batten out. I'm going to raise it again. I'm going to put my female all the way up. And then I'm going to pick up all the strings in the front again. Just like this, look. Just the ones in the front. Then I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to open it. Now I'm going to go all the way back over here. Get the one in the front like this. And I'm going to take this finger, put it in here, go around it, and then loop it. Go in there, around it, and loop it. Go in there, around it. Sometimes, like my little sister, she goes like this. She puts it around it and she does it twice. Like that. And then that's all you do all the way across. You just slide it too like that, look. And then you just bring this one all the way across like this. All the way to there. Then you're gonna pull it till you slightly pull this one again. Just like this, look. See that? Barely. Then I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna take my edge, put it right in there, put it down and pull this one out. Now I'm gonna come over here and make my mountains. I'm gonna take this one out. Okay, we went one cycle. You're gonna do this until you get all the way up here. You're gonna do this 16 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you should be about right here at that point. That's about 1 inch. As you're packing it, it's gonna compact. You want it, the first 10 rows, you want to pack it good. You want this to be straight. You do not want these side strings to start pulling in. Every now and then grab them and then just slightly kind of pull it out like that. You're gonna do that all the way. So you do it 16 times. Then you can be ready to add a new color. I do not recommend doing any kind of blocks or designs your first rug. Stay focused on bands, different sizes. You want to focus, your first rug, you want to focus on keeping the sides nice and straight. And then you want to focus on keeping your line straight. That's what I recommend. After you've done this one, rewarp another one, maybe do like 2 or 3. When you feel confident, like you know how to use your tools, you know your directions, you know you're warping by them. You tried out your warp, you tried out your weft, you're straight, you have straight lines. And this is straight on both sides, then you're ready to start thinking about putting in blocks and designs. That's just what I recommend. Some people start off right away, and then I see rugs that are like, you know, looking like a figure, like an hourglass or something. So that's what I recommend. Okay. Is there any questions up to that point?
Even though, are you gonna show us how you would add in another color? Like,
yeah.
Because like, I'm just thinking about those pictorials that a lot of Navajos can do. And you know how they have like multiple colors in there at the same time?
Yeah.
I was just curious, will you be able to show us how they do that?
Meaning like twirled like that?
Well, like just like how they add in different colors on like the same line that you're doing. Like oh gosh, how can I explain?
Do you have a picture of it?
Maybe different bands, different color bands, different style.
You know how they like in some those pictorial rugs, they have like a person or what they're like herding their sheep, and then they'll have like a different color for the pant legs, and then move it a little bit forward, then you see like the sheep legs and
oh yeah, that's what I mean. That's blocking.
Oh, okay, that's blocking.
Yeah, that's blocking. That's everything you're doing right now is you're doing it this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's horizontally. And what I recommend is starting off with bands, different color bands. The bands is this way. And then as you get confident and everything is straight on both sides, right here and right here, then you can go into blocking. Blocking is where you start working your colors this way, like up and down.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I can do is, if you guys can all start weaving, and maybe about when everybody's about right here, get a hold of Kimberly. And what I'll do is I can do a demonstration. We can get together for like 30 minutes and I can show you how to do blocking, like how to start adding blocks, meaning vertical, this way. But right now, what I'm going to teach you is I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to show you how to end it. Let's say you're running out and the proper way to end your yarn, and then how to insert new colors. Let's say you got done 1 inch right here, and then you want to do yellow. I'm going to show you how to enter a new color, and then how to end this one. You can't just end this one anywhere. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I do need a new color. Let me hold that really quick. Is there any yarn right there in the second drawer? Is there any questions while she's getting a new yarn, a color? Okay, white is good. They're all in that carton right there at the bottom. Remember where the gloves are? The other one.
Yeah,
Oh, here you go. Let me get it.
let me go get that.
Okay. All right. While she's doing that, she's gonna get another color yarn. Is there any questions?
So let's say, like you were saying, like the hourglass, when your warp starts to do that, you just had to go back and kind of loosen the yarn.
Yeah, you
But
probably just gotta pull them back out and then
yeah.
pull them back out and then make sure you're doing your mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And then what some people do, I don't want to teach you bad tricks, but some people, what they do is if it is going in, like let's say it's going in right here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going in, they'll take a needle and they'll put it and they'll catch this first row and then they'll tie it this way overnight. And then that way sometimes it straightens it back out, but you don't want to always like rely on that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to show you how to end this string, and then I'm going to show you how to add a new color. Let's see this one. Okay, here you go. Okay, let's say pretend that this little one row is 1 inch, right? And I'm running out of yarn and I want to stop this one. There's 2 ways you can stop it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back this way one time, then I'm gonna come back this way. So I'm gonna bring this one down. I'm gonna pull this one here like that. Make sure I have all of it. I'm gonna bring this one back up. I'll open this. Now I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna put my finger in here, wrap it around. I'm just gonna go all the way across like that. And I'm gonna pull it all the way across. Like that. Slightly pull it, and then I'm gonna put my comb in here, bring it down, pull it. Then I'm gonna make my mountains. Take this out. Okay, now I'm gonna go back this way. I'm gonna show you how to stop a yarn, a weft. So I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna grab all the male strings. See that? Bring it down. Open it. Now I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna cut it right here. About right, let me see, right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this around my finger and I'm gonna tear it. Like that. Okay, let's say I only have that much string left, yarn, weft. Now I'm gonna reach in here and I'm gonna grab whatever's left, bring it across. Like that. Maybe like one more time right here. Okay, right there. Then I'm gonna put this cattail in there. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna go in here again, like I said. 2 of them, remember this is 1 string. I'm gonna bring this down, pull it slightly. Then I'm gonna put my comb in here and I'm gonna bring that one down. So I end it right there. Now I'm just gonna pack it down. Always remember where you end it. Your cattail is sticking out right there. Now I'm gonna come in from this side on male strings again. I'm gonna grab all the male strings. Then I'm gonna open it back up. I'm gonna take my new color. So this is like burgundy. And then I'm gonna bring it and I am going to tear the tip again. Just like that. Now I'm going to bring this one on male again. Every time you're starting a new color or a new design, you start in male. And then I end it in male. You want to end in male and start in male. So I'm going to bring this one across again, right here, like that. I'm going to do this till I surpass or go past where I end it. Just like that. Then I'm going to pull this one. Just like that, all the way across. Until I get, see where my cattail is? I'm going to go right on top of it. Like that. Then I'm going to take my comb and then I'm going to bring it down right on top of it, just like that. Then I'm going to take this one out. I just entered this one now. Now I'm ready to use this one. So now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to, just for demonstration, I'm only going to cut it this short. Now, I'm going to take my batten. I'm going to bring her down. And then I'm going to insert just like that. You only want to pick up the string she's holding. You check it like this. Bring her up. Bring this one down like that. Now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to start and do the same thing I did with the black one. Run it through just like that. Pull it till it kind of slightly. Press this one down. Pull this one over. Make your mountains. Tack it down. Take this one out. Now you're going to come over here. And then I'm going to pick up all the male strings again, just like so. The ones in the front, bring it down. Then I'm going to run these through again, just like that. You want to try as many different colors as you can. And the first rug you want to do, like I said, your objective is to make sure that your bands are straight this way. You don't want them like this. Pull it, this right there. You're going to put this one in, go down, pull it this way. Then you're going to make two mountains. Okay. That's how you insert a new color and you end the other color. You always start and end in male, and then you always go one full time to consider that one round. If you're ever going to go by a graph paper, every time you go 4 times, that's 1 bar. So if you color the whole thing, you want bands, and you draw it all out on your graph paper, every bar is 4 revolutions. That's how you count them. So there you go. That's your introduction to weaving. If everybody can get like up to this point and it's nice and straight, maybe we can do another class like in the middle of the winter sometime, and I can show you how to start adding blocks this way. How's that sound, Kimberly?
That sounds good. I think about how long do you think it might take us?
Oh, I don't know. I would recommend that you do take your time and you concentrate on keeping your bars equal, straight, and then this one. Straight. Try not to let it go like that or kind of go in like that. And just try different colors. Mainly, you want to get used to going in and out of these two different heddles and learning how to use your batten and then learning how to use your comb. By that time, some of you might configure that you like holding it way back here or right here in the middle. Then we can think about getting you some combs that have grooves in there according to where you. Okay, so that will conclude our class for now. We can watch you. If you have any questions, I'm always available. You have my number. By the time everybody gets about right here, maybe about right there, let's do another class. And I'll show you how to start blocking.
Lyle, I have a question. So when you start getting towards the top, maybe you can show us during that class when we're blocking, but when we start getting towards the top, when do we cut off the strings, or do we cut off the strings that are on the female heddle rod?
Okay.
Because I would think like when you get towards the top, you know, you of course you'll have like fewer space. And I remember seeing my grandma, she had a real skinny divider. What's that thing called that you were using? That maroon looking board you have right there. What is it called? I forget its name.
That's a batten.
Batten. Yeah, my grandma has a real skinny batten.
At that point, when you get to that point, when you're about can you hold this right here? Okay, when you get to about right here, 3/4 of the way, you're going to want to take this one out, but do not just take it out. What you're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to find yourself a metal clothes hanger. A clothes hanger. You're going to cut off both ends. And then you're going to put that really skinny metal clothes hanger. It's kind of strong. You're going to put that in there. Then you're going to take this one out. That's going to loosen the strings for you. Because by the time you get to this point, it's going to be super tight. And then by the time you get about right here, you're going to want to take this one off. At that point, you're going to be using a curved needle, a 2-inch curved needle, and that's what you're going to be using to pick up the back strings. That's from here. And then by that time, you're going to want to take the whole metal clothes hanger out. And then everything from here is going to be with a 2-inch curved needle. That's the way that a lot of people do it. Now, another way you can do that is you can bring this one down after you've done 1 inch right here. Bring this one down and then bring this one down. Then you're going to weave downwards. From here, you're going to pack it up and you're going to go 1 inch up to there. Then you can bring these back up against it. And then this one. So when you start weaving, all you're going to do is just weave up to there. And then you don't have to use needles. That's a shortcut. So otherwise, you're going to need one of these. This is called a finishing comb. See, look. This one, you're gonna use it way up here. Because everything at this point is you're gonna be trying to put your, and then you're just gonna be pushing down. So that's why you need this one. It has to be skinny like this at the tip and sharp. That way you can just put it in there and then push down. So you'll need one of these later on. If you can't get a hold of me and we can make a deal. All right. So any other questions?
Would you still have to use that method you were talking about with the clothes hanger? Like even though you do the border at the top, and then when you're weaving, back, you would probably wouldn't you still have to use the hanger method because it'll start to get tight up at top when you get to the border?
Get tight at the top, but you're gonna save yourself a lot of needle time. Yeah.
Okay.
If you just go all the way, then you're gonna have to use needles for about a whole 1.5 inches, and that is gruesome.
Okay. And then it would still apply, right? The border at the top. You still want to enter it in like the male strings. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
Lyle, I am still stuck. I've just been actually watching, but I tried to fix my string from the beginning of this session and it looks really weird on how I did it. So I just took it off, but is there any way you can show me how to do that?
And do what now?
Because I missed one of the strings when I took my warp off. It wasn't on the yarn. And you had said to go through, but it looked weird on how I did it. And the knot was actually on top. And it just didn't look right. So I did something wrong, but I couldn't really see on how you put your needle in and how you went around the string in order to correct it.
Okay. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your needle, bring it close right over here. You're gonna go through this like that, and you're gonna poke it through like that. You're gonna bring it around like this. So I'm gonna put these down. You're gonna go through this yarn. You're gonna go into the back like this and then loop it. And then the one that's coming up like this, all you're gonna do is bring it in here. And then the one that's up here, then you're just gonna tie it and then tie it against that yarn. That's it.
So I tie it against the yarn and not against itself.
Okay,
correct?
Hold on. Can you give me my
Maybe you could
needle?
show us what it looks like, Kimberly?
Give me a needle and then put like a, I'm gonna show you. Give me needle and the string, put a string on it. I'm gonna demonstrate it to you right now. There's.
Can we get the string?
Yeah, Kim, show us what it looks like.
Yeah, Kim.
You're still on mute, Kim, if you're talking.
Yeah, I was talking away. But see this one right here. And I already took the knot out of where it was. But see, it's off of that wire, that yarn.
Here, I'll go. That's all that. Okay. Here we go. Okay, you're gonna take your needle like that. You're gonna put a thread on it like this. Then you're gonna take your needle. You're gonna go in there like this, and you're gonna pick up both yarn like that. And then you're gonna bring it to the back, and then you're gonna bring it back like this. Like that. And then all you're gonna do is you're gonna run it through till you get a single one. Then your string that is coming up like this, you're gonna bring that around it like that. And then you're just gonna bring these two together. And then you're gonna go like this, and all you're gonna do is go like this, look. Like that. And then you're just gonna double knot it like this. That's it.
Then I remember you said you just want to make sure that they're crisscrossed correctly, right?
Yes, you want to make sure that these ones are crisscrossed correctly right here. I really can't do it because this one is sewed on now, but you want to make sure that they're just crisscrossed one time. And then when you put it up here, all you want to do is just put it under it like that. You don't want it to twist one more time. Make sure that when you put it in, it's not going to twist again.
Okay, I think that's what I did the first time, is that it twisted again. I thought I had it correct.
Yeah, that's about it. That's all you can do. The only other thing you can do is redo it. Okay, any other questions?
Bill, this will be my last question, I swear.
That's all right.
But later, maybe when we rejoin again, to show us, when you're gonna show us how to do the blocking, are you gonna show us how to take the rug off of the sticks?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I was just curious about that.
Yeah, definitely. But basically all you're gonna do is when you weave up to this point and make sure it's tight, all you're gonna do at that point is you're gonna run a razor across from here all the way across. These bindings, the one are going like that, only the white ones, you're gonna cut that on both sides. That's it. Do not cut these ones. Those ones are gonna dangle.
Okay.
All you're gonna do is cut off like this, and then take the strings out all the way from both sides. That's it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Like I said, most of the time, as you're upwards, you're gonna come across things. Then that's when you're gonna have questions. Other than that, everything is set up. Everything's ready.
Lyle, I just want to say something really quick. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to show us again how to, set this up and to set up the loom. I had a lot of fun working on it. I had Derwin help me drilling everything. So it was a lot of fun working on it together and putting it together. He was making sure I did it correctly and following your instructions. You made it easy for me to put it all together. And so I just want to express, my gratitude on behalf of all of AIEA, for showing us, taking the time to show us step by step on how to put it together and how to start and the reasons for it, especially the stories and the traditional knowledge that you shared with us. I think it's very important and very significant of the reason why we know that this loom was created for a specific purpose. And I really enjoyed your humor that you put in to the session. It made us, I think it helped me anyway, helped all of us, I'm sure, feel more comfortable about asking you questions. And just that humor that you added to, I've been using King Kong type for a while now since you said it. So, it's been really encouraging. And so you made this class really fun and an enjoyable time. And so, once we get to a certain section, I'll kind of gauge on how I work, because since I'm just now learning, I'm sure it's going to probably take about that long, about how far up we can get to where we can start contacting everybody to see if we can have another session so you can show us the other technique that you were talking about. But I just want to say thank you, Lyle, to you and your team for taking time to be with us every week and for showing us and sharing your knowledge. I really truly appreciate that. So many blessings to you and your family, and what you've been experiencing with your eye surgeries and things of that nature. So, and now everything's going to work out for you. That's how we think of you guys in that way. So, I hope and thank you. Just want to say that much for now.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, anybody else? Any more questions?
Okay.
Yeah.
If no questions.
All right.
Oh,
Hold on. Yeah.
Para araw taon ya cash nale
Oh, it's another, yeah.
to see you on negle we're just sitting over here laughing and teasing and joking around, drilling holes in our table over here. So yeah, I just want to say that. Yeah, Lo, thank you very much.
Here you go. Oh, yeah, Zona. Okay, then. Well, we're gonna log off now, and when everybody's ready for that, next class, just let me know, Kimberly.
Okay, I sure will, Lyle. Thank you so much again. Appreciate it.
Okay,
thank you, Lyle. Thank you, Josephine.
You're welcome.
Have a good evening.
Okay, thank you.